Alrighty. Good evening, Tiger, if you're still there. Give me 1 second. I just need to get started. All right. All right, let's see about that. Finally, some good channel. Hey, little Leon. All right, let me just see. So we have that. We have, what is this? Okay, great. Dune Tiger. Yeah, Fastify is great. Fastify is absolutely amazing. Okay, give me a second. Fastify. Okay, let me see. I did actually some work today already. Okay, good. Yeah, music is too loud. Yeah, I forgot to lower it down. I think it should be fine now. Let me know if it's better. Let me know if it needs to go more. All right, cool. Okay, just see. Give me 1 second. What tool is that? What do you mean? What exactly? It's GitHub projects. It's called GitHub projects. Just give me 1 second. I need to check one thing. No, that's not what I meant. I meant navigate. All right, let me just take a look at that. So what do we have in the history now? It's kind of awkward that when I try going back, it's almost like we created multiple history. So wait, let me see. I think it's a silly thing, but I feel it's kind of... No, actually, so it seems fine now. I think we fixed it, right? But there's this glitch, right? The loading glitch. So we need to fix that. You see kind of that, right? So let's fix that tiny thing, and then we're going to focus on this list that we wrote last night. Yeah, we're going to get there over time, right? Right now we are, yeah. So if it's loading a meetup or is loading a user, what else are we using? So what do we have here? Let's see, just to determine why that glitch. So get subtly is loading meetup. Because we technically should never be seeing this kind of little flip, right? And we do now, right? So you see, so that's kind of inaccurate, right? So let's fix that. So something with our loading state is wrong. So let's see, set is loading meetup. True, yes. And then finally we set it to false. Can fly. Thank you very much, buddy, for the follow. Join meetup, use effect. So it could be basically this, right? So if there's no tab name, return, otherwise, blah, blah, no. So I wonder if it's this though, right? Let's just so if it's loading user, Yeah, exactly, right. Okay, let's take a look at that again. So I click on it, it loads. Wait. Yeah, exactly. So there's a little glitch there for sure. Okay, let's see what's happening. So if it's loading a meetup, get meetup, yeah. Yes, sir. Good evening, buddy. Then we have this fellow over here. Set latest event, set as member, set as organizer. Okay, let me just test one thing. I'm gonna do this, and we're gonna do that, right? Let's just take the console log. Let's see what happened. Interesting. I'm just gonna get rid of some of those side effects. Oh my god, my brother is here. Good evening, brother. I love you, man. Thank you for sending a message. Okay, I think that was it. There's my bro from the US. He's a genius. He's just making me feel good, but he's way smarter than me, actually. I think. Okay, so it is this thing. All right. All right, so yeah, so this is the issue. So what happens basically, I think, is this. So when the meetup is actually loaded, we call this navigate again, right? Which re-renders the stuff, right? So maybe we shouldn't be actually even having this effect over here, right? Maybe we should do this elsewhere. So most likely, right, we should be doing this. Like, why do we even need this is the question. Let me try, like we did this like one of the last streams, right? Let's see. And I guess because, wait, yeah, it's because of this, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, I see. So this side effect we actually have to fix now. And then it should be good, right? So if it's loading user, if it's loading meetup, get meetup, navigate. Is that it? No, you see. Okay, that's actually super awkward. What happened there? What? Then we have this fella over here as well, right? So we have basically two effects, right, that deal with this URL change. So that could be it, right? So a params tab name return. I do, yes. Hey, guy from Mars. Oh my god, look who is here. Good to see you again, dude. I self-host Postgres, yes. I self-host everything. There is nothing that we don't host right now. Of course I remember you, man. I remember you all, guys. Okay, let's actually try with ChatGPT. I don't know if this is priming it with this. Improve the logic of setting the tab URL and index and the component loads. Robot abuse time. Clearly. Let me just pour in some water. Guy from Mars, thank you, buddy. Really good to see you again. And of course, I remember you, man. All right, let's give this a shot, but I'm not convinced, honestly. Let's see. I'm not convinced. Interesting. Yeah, but that doesn't feel right. Yeah, you can see that's why, right? Wait. Yeah, so that's the problem, right? Akram Dev, thank you very much, buddy. So we still have that little glitch, right? So there is. All right, let's revert what the bot told us. So let's kind of do it step by step, right? So let's comment both of those out. I think we did this maybe in the last night's stream, and so we have two problems, right? We have one, so we need to set the index when those things are changed, right? And that's essentially this one, right? So here we're saying when selected tab index changes, right? Then navigate to that specific tab, right? And as you can see, that one is fine, right? Yeah, so that's okay, right? Now we have another problem, right? We have a problem that when you actually, if I share this link with you directly and I go to it, it should open the members tab, not the default tab, right? So this effect that we just commented out, and this one is supposed to do that, right? Now I don't know why. Let me zoom in a bit. If params no, yeah, I don't think this is ever going to be the case if we actually manage to get to this point. But either way, the problem is, right, is that this is also now going to run every time when this fella changes, right? So I guess we should maybe try just running this once when the component loads, so it actually sets the default one, right? So now if I actually go to members and paste this, it should still work, right? And it should no longer run. Mark, good evening, my friend. How are you? So I think that's the problem. That's probably the solution, right? Like let's take a look at that. Let's just print this crap there, right? So yeah, so this thing should now run once and it should not run again. So it should run pretty much when I load the page, right? Let's take a look. Yeah, right. So now it ran. It actually opened that specific tab. Okay, great. So that was the fix. Let's get rid of that. And yeah, beautiful. Okay. So that's good. All right. So that's what I kind of wanted to fix, if I may, right? So now we actually, well, actually, let's see if we fixed it because we had that little glitch, right? Okay, so that kind of loading glitch is gone. Yeah. And the loading state, I believe, is oops, is shown properly, I think. Just want to check one thing with the state and the navigate, right? Are we doing that properly? I think we are. Let's see what we're actually setting in history, right? So as you can see here, basically, I've just used this replace argument, right? So you can basically see the reason why I passed this replace to the navigate hook of React Router is that I want to replace the history in HTML5 history API, which is basically controls this back and forth in the browser, right? So if I basically remove the replace, then for every history transition, we're gonna store that transition in here, right? So if I do this, right, you can see how we are actually pushing that to history. And that kind of sucks, right? Because if I'm here and now I click back, I'm going to be going back between them all the time, right? So I don't want to do that, right? So that's why I'm passing here replace, and I'm saying for each one of the history changes here, just keep replacing the state so I don't accumulate a bunch of them in here, right? So if I go here, for instance, now we can see that what's in history is empty now, right? And as you can see, as I'm doing this, we're not actually pushing anything in the state, which means this might sound like redundant and useless, but it's actually not at all, right? Because now if I click back, it's going back to where I came from. And in this instance, I came from nowhere because this is the first page that I opened, right? But if I go here and then I click back now, I should be going back to the meetup, right? And respectfully, if I go back again, I should be going back to where I came from, which was again nowhere. Obi, good evening, my friend. I'm good trying to get back to coder and written after a period with zero motivation. I mean, it's normal, right? As long as you come back and it's not a competition, right? It's a marathon, right? Not a sprint. So we all feel like that sometimes, and it's perfectly fine that you do as well, right? So absolutely, man. We all fall into that trap. Don't get discouraged. Right. Okay, beautiful. What is this? Oh yeah, just an FYI. I got accepted into this mentor program on Mentor Cruise. This is probably very expensive for most of you guys, but just so you know, now I'm part actually of that thing there. If your company needs some help, make sure to suggest me there. It's yeah, just FYI. Okay. All right, beautiful. So let's now go back to our backlog here, right? Let's see what we did. Create additional table, make latest event in the bottom to the actual event, okay? All right, okay, let's kind of now start slamming those fellas over here. So let's close up stuff and the view meetup. All right, so that works. Beautiful. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted. So this is basically the latest scheduled event for this given meetup, and then you should go to that event. basically when you click it. Okay, beautiful. So that's good. Let's kind of keep slamming. Remove members from a meetup, remove members from an event. Yeah, those are kind of low hanging fruits. We need to do this. Cover bottom up for during the meetup. Well, actually, I kind of gave up on this bottom bar stuff, right? So I'm just gonna. It's no longer that. Do we have this strike through here? No, we don't. Okay, never mind. So let's see, fix the number. Okay, so this is actually no longer the issue. Let's just get rid of that. Let's ensure that. All right, let's actually do this one. Disable the attend events. Actually, did we even implement that in the events? No. So you go to the actual event. Now you have to say somewhere, hey, attend this event, right? Okay. Okay. So let's kind of do that now, and then maybe we need to also build the API for that as well. Let's see. All right, beautiful. Yeah. Hmm. So yeah, so basically you're gonna come to the event. So if we go back, so you're gonna say, hey, I wanna attend one of the events, the upcoming events. So you're gonna get here, you can click attend. I wonder if it's attend event, maybe like this, right? What do you think? Maybe we should decrease this thing. No, yeah. Thank you very much, fellas, for your follows. Happy that you're finding the stream useful. So yeah, so we're gonna click this basically, and do we actually have an endpoint for that? Let's go to let's open up our Swagger, right? So if we get over here and scroll down, so if we go and do we have like post? Yeah, so let's go to the API. Let's go to meetups controller, right? And let's, do we have join events? So no, we have attend event. So we do have the attend event. So let's actually see and where that is that, So that we do actually have it. So how did I miss it? Yeah, okay, here it is. 48 hours. What do you mean? All right, great. So let's go to services meetups, right? And over here, let's say, what was this? This was post. And essentially, it takes the event ID, alrighty. I mean, I could help. So Guy from Mars, I could help test it, but I covered that myself already. I'm already, every time I deploy, I do a backup, but it's obviously not sufficient. So sure, why not? But as you can see here, whenever I do a deploy, I implemented the backing up of database myself, right? So every time I build and push, I first back up the database before I do anything with my code and infrastructure, right? And I do that using GCP and just using the Google Drive API. So when I deploy, I SSH into my server, I log into Docker Hub, I build and push the actual API image, I back up the database. So all of those kind of things are, as you can see here, I'm essentially using rclone, right? So if you check the rclone, right, and you can search for dry, right? So you can kind of see here how you can configure the Google Drive, right? So it's a very primitive way, but it at least, so I do backup database regularly, right? I don't have a cron job yet, but I can make a cron job that easily just rclones things to my Google Drive, right? And that's all that I need for now, right? So yeah, so this is kind of how you can configure. I configure Tailwind. I suggest Tailwind for any projects. Yes. All right. What was this? Attend event. And what was the endpoint? So I got it from my Swagger right here, right? And essentially, yeah, so we're gonna need event ID, right? And this bad boy here, it's gonna be event ID. Let's just turn this into a template literal. And then we don't really need any body. We're not really sending anything. Beautiful. And then, yeah, what is to say, right? So pretty much what we're gonna do. What's the biggest advantage? Well, the biggest advantage is that you don't really have much choice on Windows. You can't run some things on Windows, and I run all of my, everything you see in those terminals is ran inside of Windows Linux subsystem, right? So I mean, there's really no advantage. The thing is, if you're, this is my streaming machine. This is a very powerful computer I built pretty much for streaming and when I'm working from home. And yeah, the advantage is that a lot of equipment that I have here for streaming doesn't work on Linux properly, like this microphone, Stream Deck, Streamlights. So I have the best of both worlds. I can run my services, my Docker in Linux, then I can run everything else on Windows, which works a million times better than on Linux. So there are certain things that work better on Linux, and there are certain things that work better on Windows, right? So that's kind of, yeah, that's it. Shit. I think so. This should be sufficient. Of course, we need to do more UI stuff, right? Oh, nice. Thanks for the gesture. So instead of a cron, you go to backup via GitHub Action. Is it safe to give SSH key of DB server to give? Well, I'm not giving SSH key of the database to GitHub. My GitHub Action is SSHing into my actual host server, right? And then it's running the shell script that I wrote, which runs the rclone, which connects, to my Google Drive, which backs up stuff, right? So I'm not SSHing necessarily into the database directly, but into the actual server, right? Okay, so successfully signed up for the event. The thing is, of course, there isn't really an ultimate secure way. You will always have to access your server somehow, right? It's going to be either SSH or something else, but you cannot avoid that, right? if you want to do it in the way that I did it, right? Of course, I could have written a cron job, and maybe eventually I will, that just backs up database, I don't know, every 4 hours, right? Something like that also is fairly simple to do, right? So as you can see, yeah, it does actually work. Beautiful. But it's a good question, right? For now, I think it's a good idea. For the state of this project and where it is, I think it is. But is it going to remain like that forever? Well, yeah, definitely not. Definitely not. How is that? If you think so, if you're using it that way, then yes, it is. If you're going there every day and reading news and making friends and etc., then yeah, the answer is yes. What a social platform is, I don't know what it is for you, man. All right, attend. So wait for that, right? Beautiful. Okay. Yeah, that should be fine, right? So now when we actually click, well, we're already attending it, right? So let's see what happens now. It's probably going to say that we're already doing it. Blah, blah, meetup ID now. Give me a second. Let's debug this for a moment. Attend event. Let's see. Yeah. On click. Mm-hmm. All right, so actually it's good. I think the only reason, so I think it's our validation that's failing now, which is good. It's just it should give us a little bit better. Let's remove this record from the database and let's try to attend again, right? I believe it's because we are already attending. Yeah, exactly, right? So you can see it's pinned, and now this should kind of switch and say, this should now say, hey, you are actually enrolled into this already, right? And we're gonna get to that in a second. Let's actually see if I go to, so what do I actually fetch here when we get to this view? Meetup event, where's the actual fetch? So I get the meetup and I get the event, right? And I get events log. Okay, so let's make sure that we are now, shit. Yeah, it's okay. We need to do another join, right? So get event, yeah. Actually, we are getting the attendees already. Beautiful. So that's really great. Okay. So if I refresh this big boy, yeah, so you can see I am in fact returning attendees. So that's really good. That's good. That's great. So yeah, so let's have another state variable here. Let's say const is what would be the correct English word? Is enrolled or is attending? Is attending maybe, yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Something like this, right? Let's do that. And then when we actually fetch the actual thing right here, we're gonna say No, this is not correct, but it's a good attempt. So we want to check if the user, which is me, if I'm in the list of these attendees, right? So we kind of need to, let's see where I'm using this component. So we either need to use the, because my state is in Redux Toolkit or in Redux to say. So I think, but we can actually pass it. I think inside of this view here, we already have an user data. Exactly, beautiful. So let's, wait a minute, which component is this? Meetup event, right? Sullivan, my friend, good evening. How are you, man? Thank you for coming again, dude. Event list. So actually, yeah, so it would be probably better if we just subscribe to that, or under quotes, subscribe, right? So let's actually go over here. Good, man. I wasn't sure if I'm gonna actually stream, right? So my wife went to bed and my kid fell asleep. We've been outside visiting some guests. And I'm like, okay, I just decided, yeah. I started like at 11 p.m. or whatever. So yeah, so this should be correct. If the attendee exists in this list, right? Yeah. I don't think we really need the user state here because we know that by this time, okay. Let's be more explicit here. Let's say logged in user ID, just so we don't reference the whole object, whole user object, right? Because that's, then we can, yeah. And then we need this state variable now, assuming that I actually wrote it properly, right? I think that actually let's just put that as a bug, but I think I was already aware of that. But now you're confirming it. Let's just look at production. Yeah, I mean it's actually very difficult to validate that, right? So it's not that the validator is validating that the thing I think is a valid YouTube URL, but you can still, you know, how can I validate that, right? I would need to have an API that somehow, you get what I mean? Like you can go and say YouTube / and then do this, right? How can I validate that, right? I can only validate that it's a valid YouTube URL, right? So yeah, it's a bit tricky one, I think. But let's just yeah, but I'm not using, right? I'm not using any API, right? I mean, it's just an embed. I'm not using any YouTube API, right? You know, it's just an embed, right? So we're not connecting to YouTube in any way or whatever, right? It's just yeah. Let me finish this, then we take a look at it. But you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. All right, let's see if that actually works. Wait, what was I even doing? Yeah. So as you can see, it says attending because, and now actually that's actually a bit strange. Wait a minute. Is attending, set is attending, right? And I think I might have an idea, right? Yeah. Okay, I know what the problem is, right? Okay. Give me 1 second. So we actually do need the loading state of the user here as well. Unfortunately. So now it should actually be, shit, not really, right? Oh yeah, it's because, yeah, I see. Okay, I see, my bad. Wait a minute, fetch data, where is this effect? It's here, right? Yeah. Now, yeah, all right, now it's good. Wow, you finally added Twitter to profile. I think I did, yeah. I'm not a fan of Twitter. I actually despise that platform, but multiple people asked for it, and I'm like, all right. But that platform doesn't align very much with my values, so, but it's there, yeah. And yeah, so we obviously don't want to be able to click on that if you're already attending, right? So let's fix that. Blah 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 blah. Where is it? Yeah, over here. So we want to say, hey, well, it's disabled. In either two ways. It's disabled if it's already trying to attend, or if it's attending already, right? That would be the disable, right? Okay, wow, that's interesting. Okay, I see, I see. So I kind of messed up the outline style, it seems. Let me go to the button. Give me 1 sec. All right, beautiful, Sullivan. Let me just put that in the card immediately. Just put that information. Beautiful. Okay. How do you hide followers and follow? I think didn't I long ago like implement that feature already? Didn't I have, I hope we still have that. I think I had a checkbox somewhere that said maybe we'd remove that. Yeah, this one shows stats and profile page. I genuinely don't know if this still works. It's been a while since I've tested it. I think it should still work. No, it doesn't really. So I think it's probably like a regression or something. But yeah, we'll probably let's just fix it after this. But yeah, there is a, like, you could basically before at least toggle this thing. Anton, thank you very much, buddy. All right, cool. But let's move back to this for now. Just okay. So let me see, what do I have here? So I have. Seems I'm missing a state for one of the things. So I think if it's not outlined and if it is disabled, right? So that's what we're missing. So we want to say bg primary hover. All right, let me just, yeah, I'll just do something like this. So if it's not outlined and it is disabled, right? Which I believe is this. So let's just say here, bg. Yeah, so I think it should be this. Give me 1 second. Let me just test one thing. Yeah, exactly. Text. Shit. Yeah, so why is it not working? Give me 1 second. Ah, okay, that's why. I see. All right. But that's still actually not good, right? Because this is a... So wait a minute. BG primary background color. No, so this should be actually BG primary, right? Exactly, yes. And then this should be... Yeah, I see. Okay. It's a bit confusing. There's so many states, but that's what I want, right? Okay, beautiful. Now I actually guess that what what a user would want, right, would be to, let's say, attend event, right? So if there's no event, if there's no user, that's all fine. But I guess at this point, like, you should probably be able to say, actually, no, I can't attend. So this should be something you should be able to toggle, right? All right, let's just chat GPT it quickly, just so we can waste. So let's say, make this to be like a toggle. So if the user is already attending and calls this again, it will remove the... Yeah. Just basically so we automate this, right? So we don't spend 5 minutes writing it manually. Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly. Now, should we still call this this controller the same? I mean, who cares, right? Okay, if there's no event, if there's no user, then we check if user is already actually following this, if they're attending. If yes, then we remove them. Otherwise, well, we don't really need this else, do we, right? Yeah, exactly. Beautiful, right? So now already in the front end, right, we can I think the only problem right now would be, right, that so there's one kind of UI little trick that we would need to do, unfortunately, right, is that now it would be better if we would actually return different status codes based on this, and then in the front end do something, right? So here it would be better if we just said reply that code, right, 204, and here we could just say reply that code 201, right? Yeah, and then what we can do further on in the front end, right, is we can go here to meetups, and here I can say actually and then I can say here, right, so if this returns 201, that means that you just kind of you're saying I'm gonna attend. If it returns 204, or I mean, it would be better, right, if we actually are explicit about both codes. So here I can say, if status is 201, so I'll be explicit just for the sole sake of me reading this code in 3 days understands, right? Even though, again, it's not necessary, it's more just to be explicit, right? Okay. So yeah, so if we go actually over here now, right? Hmm. So I'm gonna filter that out basically. What's the complaint? Ah, so basically, yeah. So in simple words, I guess, if it's not attending, so if we fiddle with that, we wouldn't do this. If it's attending, it's we don't care. So if this returns false, then we want to remove the user. So this button is yeah, I'll show it in a second, right? And then yeah, and we have to slightly change this logic here, right? So first we're just gonna do this. So we're gonna disable it while a person is trying to attend. And then actually once you click this, it should, let's see what happened. Okay, what's happening? There was an error, okay. Let's see what the error is. Ah, I see. It's probably some, yeah, let's see what happened. Ah, I see what happened, okay. Yeah, mm-hmm. X Codex, good evening, buddy. Good, man, how are you? How's life? Yeah, so you can see it did kind of work, right? So we can see that the API works. It's just wait a minute. Let's take a look at the API. What the hell? Ah, it's because we forgot to terminate the HTTP response, right? So that's why. My bad. Okay, try that again. Yeah, so now it's actually good. It's just we have some UI error, which is okay. So this should have flipped now to attending, right? But it didn't. Okay, so let's see. It's trying to attempt, yes. Let's print this response right here. I think we're almost there with this. Is attending false, yeah. So that's actually good. So we're saying if response is not attending, yeah, set data dot events. Mm-hmm. Ah, that's why, of course. My bad. Sorry. This is going to be a bit painful and ugly, right? So here we have to actually say data, right? We have to spread what we already have. And then we have to say events, right? Shit. Yeah. Exactly. K just, thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate it. Is it? Yeah. Okay, so it's not completely wrong yet. Wait, so okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. So that's actually good. So if response is attending is false, yeah, so we then set the data. We spread the existing data, we get into the event, we spread the event, and then inside of the event we have the attendees. Then we say data event attendees. We filter out the one. I remove myself basically from it. So that's actually correct. Now let's take a look at this fella over here. So if it's I see. So technically we also have to call this bad boy here, right? So we want to say is attending, which makes this kind of obsolete in a way, right? I guess. Let's see. Yeah, so you can see that kind of flip worked, but when I click attend, okay, I see. So actually, maybe we can make this even simpler, right? So I should say something like this. Okay, great, it's good, right? So actually what we're gonna do is we're gonna say, hey, if response dot is attending, and maybe we don't even need this complexity here. Let's see. Or maybe we do. Attending, yeah. Attending, yeah. Now if I go back though, and then come back, okay, let me just go back and see the state of it. Great. Thank you guys, thank you very much. So yeah, so that's kind of okay. We have this, yeah, okay. So we actually don't need this complexity at all. So let's get rid of that and that. And actually, you know, let's use the outline. Let's make the button outlined if it's attending. Outlined, right? Is attending. That's gonna mean, right, this button, you know, once you're attending, we kind of don't want to incentivize you to not attend, right? So Cloud 7, thank you very much, buddy. Okay, that's great. I think. Yeah. All right, let's see what we've been doing here. Find better. Yeah, okay. Great. Okay, so let's do this one. Disable attend button when attendees is greater to spots, right? So we need another state, right? So when you want to join a meetup, every meetup is going to have the limit of people they can host, right? So once that limit is exceeded, we want to make sure that when I hover over this, maybe we show a tooltip saying this event is full, or maybe we want to. So let's actually do one thing. So we're gonna create a little utility function here. We're gonna call it something like const get attend event label or whatever, right? We'll see actually. And the question is that the only thing that we're gonna need? So, all right. Okay, so let's first write the logic, right? So let's create another state variable here. Let's say const is maybe is event full or has spots left. Yeah, has spots left, right? We can do that, right? And then we're gonna have to recalculate this when we actually attend and when we get the actual thing, right? So we're gonna have this meetup thing here. So we're gonna actually have a meetup. So here we will be able to say event attendees length is, and not really, yeah, actually let's go to our database. Like, do we actually meetup event? Let me actually take a look at the table here. Yeah, so we do actually, yeah, that's actually correct. Okay, great. Oh, I'm just gonna actually print this fella and this just to make sure that we actually in fact can see the values of both. Yeah, let's see. So event spots is undefined, so that's not correct, right? Let's print the event only. Okay, so probably in our API, right, we're not returning that properly, right? Mauricio, thank you very much, buddy. So I think if we go to get meetup, I guess, no, what is this? So we need to just extend our another JSON schema, AJV schema. So it's get meetup events, yeah, okay. So let's search for get event, right? Phantom, thank you very much, buddy. So yeah, so basically, yeah, so if we get over here, in fact, right, so we just need to, so I think I've forgotten to just include the spots here, right, which is going to be an integer, right? So now if I go to the front, we should actually, in fact, be able to see the spots here. And as you can see, there's 100 spots. Beautiful. Let's actually go and reduce those spots directly in a database of this specific record to like 1 or something like that, right? Just so we can actually test easier. Meetup event, yeah, that's the one, right? What's the one that we're testing? This one has an ID of 27, so is this one? Let's change it. Let's change this to Twitch live stream, just so we can actually see it better on the screen. So yeah, Twitch live stream, and let's say that the spots for this event is 1, right? Because I think I'm already attending it. Let's actually go to meetup event attendees. So no, I didn't attend it yet. Great. So right now, it feels a bit actually awkward. It says attending, but am I meetup event attendees? Okay, maybe the UI got bugged out. Let me try that again. Attend. Oh, actually, so it's working. Okay, great. So now basically, technically, we have no more spots left for that specific event, right? Yeah, should be like that, right? Okay, great. And then let's see what our UI says. Yeah, so spots 1, beautiful. Events attendees length 0. Yeah, so now at this point, we basically already reached a max, right? And yeah, so event attendees length is, yep, so that's good. And let's use this has spots left. And what we want to do basically here is we want to disable this if there's no more spots left, but we also probably want to use some tooltip as well, right? Maybe just to make it a bit cooler, right? Okay, but either way, let's actually get over here and let's say has spots left, and then is it just so we can, and let's say if there's no spots left, yeah, so now shit. Okay, let's use ChatGPT just because it's going to be smarter about this, because there's several states that we have to cover, right? So let's do this. QS, thank you very much, buddy. So write this utility that returns a label for my button if user is attending. We want to say attending. If not attending, we want to say add attend event. If there's no spots left, we want to say that the event is full, but we need to think of all the permutations of has spots left and if the user is already attending or not. Kleiser, thank you very much, buddy. Good evening. Yeah, exactly. So this is what I was talking about. Looks silly, but it takes a minute or two to kind of think about this, right? So let's kind of do this. All right, has spots left, and then what else do we have? Is attending, right? Was that? Yeah. Okay, great. So let's take a look at that. Exactly. All right, so let's do one thing right in our database. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna actually remove this that I'm not attending, but what I'm also gonna do. All right, so let's do this, and then let's go to meetup events, and let's say that the spots are 0. And now we should technically see that the event is full. Exactly, right? Okay, great. And let's also get over down here is loading disabled. And let's say has spots left. And potentially we could, did I build any tooltip for this project? I guess I did. Let's actually, are we using it anywhere? Shit. Yeah. All right, beautiful. So let's kind of do something like that, right? So we're actually going to do this, right? We're going to do that. We're going to auto import. Oops, no. We're going to import this. Let me just take a look at that. Join our Discord server. Beautiful. Okay, beautiful. Okay. And here we're going to say, well, we're going to say something like this, where we're going to say it has no spots left. And is attending, right? Has no spots left and is attending. Is not attending. And then we want to show this text, right? Yeah, and then here we're going to say, I don't know, the event is currently fully booked. No worries, Kleiser. No worries, buddy. No worries. The event is currently fully booked. For now, let's leave it like that, right? Who cares? And yeah, probably, interesting. Probably what we want to do as well is, yeah. Fully, okay. Thanks. Class name. Let's do something here. So let's use let's do something like this, right? So we're gonna say yeah, but I also want to do another thing, right? So we're gonna say BG maybe. Wait a minute. Actually, you know what? You know what? I have a better idea. So many states, right? The event is full. I mean, this icon is useless here anyway, right? But maybe we should also fiddle a bit with it. Just want to see one thing very quickly. Strange. Okay. Just give me 1 second. Just trying something out. All right, never mind. Okay. Okay, great. So let's go now to database. Let's increase this to, let's say, two spots. So now if I refresh, I should be able to attend, and it should say attending, right? So that's great. I should be able to roll back off of that. So the API is fine. Attending, great. And then if we do let's just check all the possible states. So attending is still, so it's still accurate. If I actually remove myself from that fella meetup attendees, so if we actually remove the record from a database, now it should say that the event is full. Actually, what was the spots that we used? Let's see. Probably it's still 2, right? Yeah, that's why. Okay. So now I should say event full. Okay. We'll do more of the style. The event is currently fully booked. So what I'm gonna do maybe, and we can't really do that now, but it would be nice that you get notified, right? So it would be nice actually if, because I've built this kind of event scheduler recently, like this microservice we did in the stream. So what would be cool that if you kind of try to join an event but it's full, it would be kind of cool if we could notify you in time if someone actually kind of decides not to come, right? So what I can actually do is just leave a placeholder here, right? I can just say notify or something, just so we don't forget, right? And maybe we can use the same bell that we use for our notification system, right? And then here we can say, I don't know, class name, it's 6. Cool. Kind of sucks with the size, but we'll figure that one out. It's okay. And let's just leave that here. A user should be notified of an event getting back an empty spot using our task scheduler service. Undisputed, thank you very much, buddy. So, okay, great. So kind of that works, right? So if we increase this again, should be able to say attend, and yeah, the style and stuff we'll see in time. That's not the point. And then we'll need to test with a few other accounts as well. Actually, give me 1 second. Every time I start streaming, I forget to do this thing. Jesus Christ. All right. Great. Okay. All right. Let's see what we can do. Disable event. Okay. So we just did this one. Use the tap. All right. Cool. Andrew, good evening, buddy. How's life? Yeah, so that's actually a bit strange. Totally dead after today. I've been out with my wife and my kid. We visited some friends, had some wine and stuff. So I wasn't actually planning on streaming today, but my wife went to bed a bit earlier, and then I'm like, okay, I don't feel too tired, so let's give it a shot. I'm just thinking. So we need to implement the editing of the actual events and the meetup itself. Of course, we're gonna have it as everything else here in our dashboard, but for now, right, I just want to do it temporarily somewhere, right? So let's implement it somewhere around here, right? So I guess what we could do just for now, just a super simple, right? We could say edit. We can say, again, as always with the icons, we can say width of 6 or some crap like that, right? Nice, man. Very nice. Very nice, dude. This is just well, temporary for some time, right? Do I have any edit? Any other icon except this one, edit told, yeah. Let's actually go to style icons here. Let's steal some SVG. So edit, didn't I have some other, wasn't this a resource? Yeah, exactly, right. Beautiful. Okay, let's find something to steal. How does it look like right now? Give me a second. Like that, all right. Yeah, this is not completely disgusting, right? Let's get this SVG and let's run it to our SVGR just to turn it into a React component, right? So let's go to assets. Let's go to assets, images, SVG, and let's call this one edit SVG. I don't think we have one. Beautiful, right? Let's see. Do we have to clean up a bit? Yeah, this, right? And then let's run our icons build process just to turn this SVG into React component, and then we can actually get back. Where was I? Here, right? And I can just say edit, right? And we should have that icon now. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, I know it's not super good, right? Okay, that's a bit big. I think also that's massive. Yeah. Do I like it? No, not really. No. Give me 1 second. I'm not gonna spend too much time with this. That's important that we don't, right? But it's let's just give it a second more, right? Yeah, I actually like this thing. Let's try this. So let's just replace this new icon we just created. So this one, and let's just run the SVGR again, right? That should be sufficient. All right, beautiful. Let's get back here. Yeah, that's slightly better for sure, right? That's better. It's not great, but it's better, and that's enough for now. Let's say here, let's say fill gray, I don't know, 500, or actually let's say text gray 500, and let's say hover text primary, right? I guess, or and also say hover cursor pointer. Yeah. Ferdy, thank you very much, buddy, for the follow. But tomorrow I have to finally progress with core, start slowly with JavaScript, and of course this week. Yeah, it's all about consistency, right? I mean, this whole product, this whole platform has been built in this stream, right? So, and it's a very complicated and it's a very complex project. So everything's possible, but without consistency and without persistency and discipline, nothing is possible. And with actually having all of those, everything's possible. So that's kind of that's how it is, really. You have to set your priorities, and then just that's what it is. You don't need any more philosophy than that. Just this box slightly feels disconnected. I think this box should probably be inside of this about tab. But then Obi, thank you very much, man. we're definitely getting there, right? It's just that it's the process of design, especially in the stream, is very difficult, right? Because UI and UX is the ultimate challenge. Technical stuff is not a challenge. I've been doing this for like 15, 16 years. It's just it's putting things where they belong and making the experience good. That is very hard. No matter how many years you do this, it's always feels constantly hard, regardless of your experience, because every product, every project is different, right? And yeah, that's why UX and UI designers are the good ones are paid so well, right? It's hard. But let's keep on going, right? Stream by stream, we do more and more and more, and that's pretty much all that matters, right? That's actually not what I wanted. Well, thank you very much, buddy. Okay, and of course we want to show this icon, so let's keep on building functionality. Let's keep on finishing things, right? So this obviously is going to have some handler, which is eventually going to trigger some form that's going to edit this. Coder, yeah, thank you very much, buddy. So let's just say here, edit, whatever. We don't care for now, right? And then this whole thing is going to be conditionally shown if you are the actual, so is organizer, yeah. So only an organizer can actually edit, right? Because it's hers or his. I've started my career in 2008. Well, I mean, it depends what you mean. I mean, when I talk about my experience, I always talk about the experience, professional experience. I started programming when I was very, very young. This was more than 20 years ago is when I first time programmed. But I started working professionally in 2008, and I started as a Cisco engineer. I worked as I think you can pretty much you can see it kind of on my profile on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn is the best for that, right? Shit, that's not what I meant. But so this is around 2008 and 9. So I worked as a web developer and Cisco engineer. And then approximately from 2011, it was mostly just full stack, right? So past 11, 12 years, it has been, so I worked at a supercomputing center here at the Danish Technical University. This is like the biggest technical university in Scandinavia. It's and most recognized university in Scandinavia. Then I worked as a mentor for 5.5 years, part-time alongside my full-time job. And now I'm a tech lead at Dream Data. But yeah, that's how it is. Okay, so yeah, so that's great. Did the music stop? It's maybe. Ah, okay, I see. Okay, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So the only thing I dislike is kind of that, right? Nice one, man. Please do. Please do. That would be amazing. Go for it. Go for it. Why not? Why not? What did I want to do? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'll see, but we need to do just some slight detail with this. So when people actually come to a meetup page, so to the page of the actual, so you go to the meetups landing page, which we're gonna do better. So you create a meetup, whatever, you click on a meetup that you find, and then this thing is basically, if there's some event scheduled, this is what you see, right? It's just this little thing, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. Good tops, pretty good, man. I started streaming very late, like 11 p.m. It's half past midnight here right now, but I don't know. I just felt like streaming, so I just showed up. What about yourself, man? How are you? How is life serving you? All right. So nice, man. Nice. Good, man. Keep. It's a grind, right? That's what life is. It's a grind, right? It's like a video game, right? You just gotta grind, and those who grind the most, in most cases, end up being more successful, whatever success is for you, right? Okay, so what do we want to do? So when you click edit, we want to show the form, right? Maybe we can just even push all the content down. For now, maybe we can do that, right? So we don't need to worry much about. So let's literally show the form right below the title somewhere here. So, so is editing meetup and meetup form. Yeah. I think I do have the meetup form somewhere, don't I? Forms, meetup. Yeah, that kind of fucking sucks. Okay. Actually, yeah, that's a pretty horrible name I chose there, right? So let's fix that. Let's rename this to meetup form. Let's call this one event form, right? Let's get over it here. Let's call this meetup form. That's cool. Mm, right? Yeah. Thank you very much, guys, for all your follows and stuff. Very much. Okay, so as you can see, we can spawn the form now. And pretty much what we're going to have to do with this bad boy here is like we are actually already doing that logic, right? So if I can just say here, hey, actually meetup form data is the meetup. Now when I click this button, yeah, okay, so now it's exploding because it doesn't like some of the data. Let's see what it is actually that it doesn't like. Reading value set, okay, form state location value, I see. Yeah, because it probably doesn't have any location, which then makes it fail. Let's actually take a look at this, right? Okay, so let's try that again, and it's still gonna explode, of course, but we don't care. So let's see. So does the actual let's actually see. Let's take a look at our database, right? So does our meetup actually has a field code location? It does. Okay, fair enough, right? So let's make sure we include that in our schema. So let's go to get meetup. So let's go to the actual router and let's say get meetup, right? Meetup response schema. Yeah, pretty much we're missing location here, which is why this fella is actually exploding on us. So let's try that again now. Edit, and as we can see now, it's actually good. So yeah, now of course in the UI for that given form, let's clear that up. Meetup form. So this handle create is gonna actually have to be smart enough to figure out, hey, is this an actual edit or is this so? We can do this two ways. We can either leave this handle create and extend it with also handle update, and then based if this data object exists, and here we can say, hey, validate the form. We can say, hey, if data, then exactly, otherwise handle create. Like what's better? So we can either expose those details to this component to take an extra prop, or we could just pass a single one and then do the logic, business logic inside of that one, right? We don't really care. So let's, so do we have handle? So let's see, what do we have in here? Join meetup, get meetup. Yeah. Well, actually, it depends on the context, right? The problem, unfortunately, right now is that the second option isn't an option, or to say the option to centralize them in a single method and then pass the single prop, because right now we don't have the context of that. So the create meetup logic, or to say the call, is in a different view completely, right? So here now we have to say, const handle edit meetup, right? Okay, yeah, I mean, let's just use a Copilot to do this for us, right? We'll also need another state variable, like whatever, we'll see. And what is this complaining about? What happened? Oh, we're probably missing a, yeah. Yeah, I do have the chat. Yeah, it's just not. I do have it here. It's just not in my workflow yet, right? But yes, I did. I have it actually installed. So we actually never really implemented the editing of the meetup, right? So yeah, so what I'm actually gonna do, I'm just gonna it's just basically an extension inside of a VS Code, right? Yeah, similar, yes. No, there wasn't. No, I don't think so. Or maybe it was, or maybe you're right. Wow, okay. Okay, there was. I see, okay. Okay, there actually was, yes. That's a good point. Let's see. Okay, so actually there was already indeed, right? So why didn't I see it in Swagger? Maybe I'm just tired. It's getting very late. Most likely it's that. Yeah, yeah, here it is. Yeah, yeah. So of course we have it. We did actually have it, right? Yeah. The only thing I dislike is actually this. Okay, that's actually great. So that's cool. I was just looking at the wrong thing. Yeah. Okay, great. All right, cool. So does work, okay? I mean, sure. Yeah. Okay. See. Ah, I see. So the slug now is problematic, right? So we need to re-slugify when we update, right? Okay, so that's definitely, let's put that on the list. Once the meetup is edited, re-slugify. Thank you guys for your follows and stuff. Very much appreciated. And we need to do the same for the event because the events also have slugs, right? Once the event is edited, right? Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, beautiful. So if we get back here, right, we'll see where this is eventually going to be. Doesn't matter. It's localized now to this. This is just a test, and then let's update this. Yeah, so that actually works. Beautiful. Let's clean that up. Let's go here, handle. Yeah, so that's really good, right? The only thing we want to do is instead of create, let's just say if there is data, then we want to say update. Otherwise, right, we want to say create. So if I go here, now it should say update. Wishmaster update. All right, beautiful. So it works. What did I want to do? So let's introduce another state though, right? Because right now we are actually, we don't have the loading state of any kind, right? So when we click update, we want to kind of show that something is updating, right? So let's introduce yet another. So is pending update or whatever. Set is pending update, right? And then obviously here we want to say handle edit meetup, set is pending updates, right? And yeah, we could kind of introduce some state to this form. What was this called? Meetup form, right? So let's say here is loading. Let's call it generic, and then, or I don't actually care, but let's see. And then is pending update, right? Then here we can say is loading, is pending. OB, thank you very much, dude, as always. Thank you for being here. I wish you a good night as well, man. And we can defer the loading of this. So what we can actually do is we can, so let's just do a set timeout here, right? Just so we can actually test it. So let's say a timeout of 2 seconds, right? So yeah, so now if I actually go and I click update, we should be seeing this spinning for 2 seconds and then it should close, right? And yeah, we can see that we've actually messed up the button. Yeah, the styling of the button, unfortunately, right? But yeah, we can see that it actually works. So that's really great. So let's get rid of that. Okay, good. That's really good. So yeah, we'll need to re-slugify. So eventually, basically, right? So when this operation ends, and if it's successful, in the API, we'll need to be basically re-slugify. We'll need to generate a new slug for that meetup if it's not taken already. So we'll also have to do some extra validation. So for instance, that you can't update the name of the meetup to some name that already exists. But we'll see about that, right? Can I ask? I'm doing some courses with HTML, CSS, and JS. The first two already done. It's cool. I mean, the thing is, right? There's no such thing as finishing the. I mean, you cannot be finished with JavaScript, right? I've been writing JavaScript for 1.5 decades, and I'm not finished with it, right? It's an ongoing process always, right? So you would have to kind of be more specific when you say, right, I have finished, right? Because you cannot finish that ever. You can never finish it, right? The product of your knowledge are the things that you've built, right? So the only tangible experience, the only tangible knowledge that you have that you can vouch for is the one where you have built something. Sako, my friend, good evening, man. I love you. So in simple words, right, if you learn to use the hammer, there's nothing impressive with it. But if you yeah. Well, you shouldn't be building video games with JavaScript at the first place for the most part, right? So if you wanna build video games, then you should not be learning JavaScript, right? Sure, you can build HTML5 games using Canvas and Canvas API and stuff like using some of the modern JavaScript. But if you want to build video games, then you should not be learning JavaScript, right? So if you want to build video games, learn some other language, right? Cyclops, good evening, buddy. How are you doing? So yeah, so if you want to learn JavaScript, don't build games, right? Don't try to learn it by building games, because you're gonna spend a lot of time learning concepts of game development rather than learning the language, right? You're gonna have to learn about gravity and about, all of the other things, right? What are we working on today? Sako pretty much just slamming the meetup feature, right? So, a couple of more streams and we should be done with it. Give me 1 second. I'm curious, if you were to build web games using Unity, how would that play into the new Unity drama? How would that play into the drama? I mean, I don't actually know, right? Wow, what is this amazing? Oh my god, that's amazing. What? Are you kidding me? I don't know what to say really. I mean, when it comes to that Unity stuff, I think that was not a very smart move by them as a company, right? But time will tell, right? I mean, I know that it's gonna be very tough for some people, right? Because um, it's yeah. I mean, I'm not also into drama, right? I don't care much, honestly. I try to understand it, why it happened, and I try to understand how it would have influenced, right? Well, we'll see, right? We'll see if it was smart in time, right? We don't know that, right? We don't know that. It wasn't. It's that's certainly not good for the developers, but is it good for the company? Time will tell, right? So it's very hard to say much about it now, right? Because the developers have two choices now: to either learn a new tool or to just pay, right? And learning a new tool, because a lot of people actually learn tools and not programming, a lot of people are going to get messed up, right? That's the thing, man. Things cost money, and I'm actually Sako. I'm going to save this. I don't have the. I don't know if I have Versal account. Okay, let me try. Okay, so I can't use it. It's a wish list. Okay. I mean, I hope this works. I mean, that would be amazing. Jesus Christ, man. I don't trust it 1% yet until I see it, but let's see. Oh my god, that's so good. I mean, if it really generated this crap, that's really good, man. Did I like insta bookmark this? Let me slam it in here. That's great. I mean, let's hope. Let's hope it's gonna work, because it's gonna save so much time, man. I hope. So wait, so they have their own component library, am I right? I guess that's what they're using. They have their own components, right? Yeah, but is this like coming from them? I don't know what that is. Shadden CUI. We'll see about that. I knew that there's a gotcha in there. Okay. We'll see about that. We'll see about that. We'll see about that. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying this actually looks great. This UI library looks great. No, this looks amazing. Don't take me wrong. Yeah, we'll see, right? I'm not gonna get excited, but amazing. Thank you, Sako. I love you, man. That looks certainly great. But let's see when it's released how it works and how useful it actually is. All right, so we did that crap. Wait, what did I want to do? Oh, yeah. All right, we'll see about that. I'm actually getting tired. I'm probably going to round up now. I think I will. No, Sako. No, I don't know what that is. Ah, nice. Let's see. A new way to use computers. Oh my God. Jesus fucking Christ. Can you make me a sandwich? Oh my fucking God, man. Are you seriously gonna give access to this to your whole computer, man? So you're gonna give this whole thing access to your entire computer, basically. That's crazy, man. Oof. I mean, it I think this is for sure the future, uh, but I'm not gonna be one of the first testers for sure. I'm gonna give it a bit of time. It will ask you, okay, okay, fair enough. All right. I mean, I'll definitely try this. Why not? Let's bookmark this as well. Hello, I'm new here. I love what you do. I would like to start JavaScript from scratch. Advice from source. You cannot just start JavaScript from scratch, right? JavaScript on its own is more or less useless, right? So you have to, if you want to start the web development, then you have to do it in pair with HTML and CSS, right? Or at the very least with HTML, right? Because JavaScript just adds dynamic behavior to your web applications, right? Where you should start anywhere, really anywhere. Find a course on Udemy, on YouTube, a full-fledged course, and stick to that course, and just build things, right? I mean, it's literally there's so many resources out there that it's like never before in history, right? So find a course and very importantly stick to it, right? You just have to stick to the same thing, right? Good stream. I have a question. Does HTTP only cookie work only if the backend and front end? I don't think that HTTP only cookie relates to the third party cookies or anything like that. HTTP only cookie relates to the fact that yeah, your JavaScript can't access it. Now the domain, the other fields in your cookie are related to the other stuff. So you can see you have the same site strict, you have the domain, local host, right, and stuff like that, right? So, but I mean, we can literally answer that, right, in 2 seconds. So my pleasure. I think it's very important that you find any resource, and just stick to it. I think you're in a huge disadvantage, ironically and paradoxically, because you have too many resources available, right? I feel it was way easier for some of us that started coding very long ago because we didn't have so much. You would get a book or something and you would have to stick with it, right? No, HTTP only cookies aren't restricted to working only when the backend and frontend are hosted on the same domain. You can set an HTTP only cookie from a different domain than. You don't use SSL on localhost. No, you don't encrypt data when you develop stuff, right? Well, none of those things really relate to. Um, it's not. No. In my case, that just does nothing, right? It's secure because it's set to secure in my API, right? Right? It's secure because it's, but it's because it's not. because I don't have HTTPS running at all, it just does nothing, right? All right, cool. I think let's discuss a few more things if people have them. It's 1 a.m. here. I want to run to bed or actually watch something on the TV. Maybe watch a series or something. My wife is sleeping, my kid is sleeping. So I want to use this opportunity to All right. Yeah, that's what it is, fellas. Used. It was a late stream. Tomorrow I'm gonna see you guys. Most likely, there's like an 80% chance, 85% chance I'm gonna stream. So if you're around, just let's hang out. And yeah, it's super late now, so I think I'm just gonna head off. And yeah, get some rest. Likewise, Andrew. Thank you, everybody. Sako, good to see you, man. I hope we can have beers soon when you're available. Sleep well, everybody. Laku noche as well, man. And sleep tight, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out, guys. Have a great one. Bye-bye. Cheers. Bye.